and working with you today on It's Just Stuff, the worksheet that came with It's Just Stuff. That's called Right Now Money Goals. And in that webinar, we talked about the importance of realizing that it all is just stuff. And this sheet will help you leave financial chaos behind starting today, help you to control your money immediately. So in this exercise, I'm going to go over with you this Right Now Money Goal sheet. It's basically for you to be able to take whatever money you have in your checking account right now today, or maybe somewhere in your savings, or maybe even under your mattress, in a piggy bank, whatever it takes to be able to plan out your priorities in your budget, or in the budget we're going to make for you today. And so couple things of framework with that is we talked about giving, saving, and spending as the three things we can do right with money. And look at that. I wrote down my bad order here. Giving, saving, and spending. Those are the three things we can do with money. So in light of that, we're going to create for this week, the week of August 3rd, which is the date of this recording here, we're going to take whatever money we have in our checking account. And again, this is an example, and this amount that I created here, or that I put in here, was based on $61,000 take home, or excuse me, $61,000 gross pay, annual pay for the median American household, and just took what that would look like for one pay period a month, or one check a month. And again, just an example here at a 20% tax bracket. So $3,770 is the amount of cash you have in your checking based on this example we're going to use today. And so what we want to do is, like I said, go give, save, spend as the three things we can do with money. And then a part of that is we want to cover the four walls, or our priorities, priority spending. And that would be food, shelter, food, clothing, and then a couple of things here of transportation. And you could also include, again, electric and water and phone into your priorities as well under the housing. And then one other one I added was healthcare. It's important to take care of yourself and whatnot. So this is the Right Now Money Goals. These are priority. This is by far not a complete budget by any stretch of the imagination. And in this example, we're going to go through what it would look like for someone like me or you to be able to take the $3,770 we have right now and spend it on paper first based on our priorities. Okay? So let's go ahead and go with the flow here. So the first thing we want to look at is, remember, we talked about giving, saving, spending. When we start, at least we look at 10% giving, 10% saving, and 80% spending. That's a place to start. Doesn't mean that's where you have to, but it's something to get you a place to start. So that's why I even recommend using pencil and paper to start on this budget, so you can erase. Because you're going to make some mistakes. You're going to have to figure some numbers out. It's not going to be out of the gate ready to go. It's going to take some massaging. So with that, $3,770 is where we're going to start, okay? So 10% of $3,770 for generosity or giving is $377. From there, we want to look at, well, what remaining do we have after that $3,770 is spent on generosity? So $3,770 minus $377 is what? Let's go and get out the calculator. 70 minus 377, that gives us $3,393. Okay? So write that there in that box. That means I have $3,393 to spend on the rest of these categories. And I want to get at the end to zero. So let's just go ahead and say our mortgage is $1,000. We're keeping this simple. Then $3,393 minus $1,000 is $2,393. Let's say for groceries for the week of August 3rd, not for 2 weeks. In this scenario, let's go ahead and we do 200, depending on your family, maybe a family of 4 or whatever, that might be good for you. Again, example, get an understanding here of the mechanics of this. 2,393 minus 200 is 2,193. Clothing, let's go ahead and just say we did $20. Maybe you got a little baby, you need some clothes to grow, right? So 2,193 minus 20, of course, is 2,173. And we have $2,173 to spend down the line here. Let's say a car payment. A car payment on average, I think today is somewhere in the 500s at 60 months. But that's not you, right? Or hopefully we're trying to get out of that. But regardless, let's say our car payment is $450 right now. So 2173 minus 450 is what? 1723. 1723. $1,723. Then our car insurance, let's just call it 200. Okay. Now we have 1723 minus 200 is 1523. Let's take gas. Now, if you're new to a budget and you're trying to figure out, well, man, what do I budget for gas? Of course, you could look at your receipts from the past or online, but let's just take this. Let's say you have a 17-gallon tank and multiply that by, let's say gas is $2.15 right now. And I think that gets us 33 something. So 2.15 times, oh no, it's 36.55, I think, times 17 is 36.55. So 17-gallon tank times 215 equals 36.55. That's going to cost me to fill up my tank. Let's say you do that 4 times a month, once a week. What is that? 36.55 times 4 is 146.20. 146.20. So now let's just go call it 146. So now we take 1523 minus 146, and what do we get? Let's see, we get 1477. Let's see, 1523 minus 146. What did we say? I already forgot. 15 minus 146. Oh, it's right up here in the corner too. 1380. That's not right. What did I do? 1523 minus 146. Yeah, 1377. So anyway, you're going to make mistakes, right? So there we go. I do this every day and make mistakes. 1377. And then we have electric and gas. Let's just call it 250. It's Florida for me, and stuff gets a little expensive depending on where you live and all that kind of stuff. So 1377 minus 250 is 1127. And then water and sewer, it's nominal, so it's 1102. See where I'm getting that? 1127 minus 25 is 1102. All right, so we got 1102. Let's see, internet and phone is 150. 1102 minus 150 is 952. And then we got healthcare. So let's say you're spending $200 on healthcare, or maybe putting the money away for healthcare. That can kind of be where that savings comes in. And now you have 752. All right. Now, obviously, I did not exhaust all of your expenses probably, but I know I've taken care of, like I said earlier, the 4 walls. I've taken care of that in all this budget here. All right. What you want to do now is take that 752 and move it to the rest of your budget, or save it, or whatever. But ultimately, what we're trying to do is 752 that you had left minus 752 you're budgeting elsewhere gets us to what? 0. And that's where we want to be. So here you have it, a right now money goals budget to help you get started right away controlling your money. So whatever you have in your bank account right now, today, you run the numbers on it based on what you think it's going to cost, and then you start subtracting the expense from the money you have, and eventually you want to get to 0. So that's it. You have questions, you know how to email me at brian@brianhorvath.com. Love to help you.